Hello everyone. Let's continue from where we stopped last time. Last time we discussed the definition of the hold time and the requirements about of the combinational delay with respect to the hold time. Also, we saw what the requirements when we add the clock buffers. Basically, the delta 1 and delta 2 are nothing but the clock network delay of the launch flop and the capture flop clock points respectively. Okay, so what we'll do is in this section, let's try to understand the impact of the crosstalk. But before that, let's try to cover this thing. I will change the topic. It's called as impact of crosstalk delta delay on timing. Okay, this is one thing. And second thing, also we have to look into the impact of jitter on the equation. So we have done that in the past, but let's try to cover that over here as well. So when you have the clock period as 1 nanoseconds, by the way, the clock period of 1 nanosecond doesn't have any impact on the hold timing. And we have, let's say, we have to assume that let's the hold time be as 10 picosecond. It's basically the processing time that we have inside the capture flop, and also the let's consider the uncertainty to be 50 picoseconds. And the reason uncertainty is being less over here is it's because it's the same edge that is going at the launch and the capture flop. So whatever jitter will be present, that will be same for the launch and the capture flop. We'll cover all these nomenclatures in a separate section in STA videos. Let's not get into those details in this at this point of time. So we have to cater to all these needs as well. So as a result of that, the equation for the whole time becomes a bit complex, and the reason I'm saying complex is that we are trying to add more and more practical scenarios into the equations. Okay, so let's try to add those. So the whole time requirement becomes h. H is basically the whole time h, which is 10 picoseconds, plus the delta 2, which is nothing but the capture flop clock delay, and plus the hold uncertainty, which is 50 picoseconds. So this becomes the requirement. Basically, this is what the circuit says to us, that we expect the data to come by this time, and this is what we say, that this is the time at which, this is the way of our saying to the circuit that we will be arriving at this point. Now after this comparison, it's like whether we are arriving, whether we are satisfying the conditions or not. That's what has to be decided by this particular equation. Okay, so again we have the concept of data required time and data arrival time also over here. The right hand side is the data required time, which the circuit says to the user that this is when we require the data to be, and data arrival time is it's the user that tells to the circuit, okay, this is the time at which I arrive. Okay, so now based on this equation, we'll decide whether we are arriving at the right time or not, and the data arrival time in this case has to be greater than the data required time. Okay, so what does this says? This says is the slack that we want to calculate, that will be positive when we subtract the data required time from the data arrival time, in contrast to one which we had for the setup slack. That in the setup slack, the data arrival time was always less than the data required time. In this case, the data arrival time has to be greater than the data required time, and the difference between the data arrival time and the data required time will be called as slack, because this is what is required, and slack is always expected to be a positive. It's a standard nomenclature, standard industry nomenclature that we have, that we want to see slack as positive. Hence there is a change in the equation of slack over here. In case of the setup analysis, the slack definition was a bit reverse over here. It was data required time minus data arrival time. In this case, it's data arrival time minus data required time. It's just because of to maintain the industry nomenclature of slack. So we expect slack to be positive, or it should be 0. So basically arrival time should be greater than the required time, or it should be equal to the required time, but it should not be less than the required time. Now what we have to do is we have to take our crosstalk circuit and see what is the impact of that crosstalk on the combinational delay and how that particular thing impacts this complete equation, or it makes a slack to go below negative. So it's purely crosstalk. So let's assume that this particular circuit now meets hold. Basically data arrival time is greater than data required time. Basically it meets hold. Now what we have to see is what when we just introduce crosstalk over here, how does that impacts the left hand side of your equation. Let's bring the crosstalk part over here. So we have the same circuitry, we have the inverters over here, we have the inverters over here, and this particular net which is the aggressor, and this particular is the victim. This aggressor is creating an impact on the victim. It's basically changing the slew of this particular victim, and as a result of that it's making the delay of this cell becoming faster. So initially the delay was, let's say, theta. Now the delay of this particular combinational logic because of this particular aggressor victim interaction will be theta minus some delta. Okay, so only for this particular stage, when you try to calculate the combinational delay, only for one stage, only for one net being affected by crosstalk. Now when you try to compute the combinational delay, you see this particular inverter out of the circuit. So initially it was D, now it's D minus X because of the crosstalk computation, because of the crosstalk delta delay. So because of that, this amount of delay will get deducted from the equation theta, and as a result of that your equation will become now theta minus X. Okay, now theta minus X, basically from the complete left hand side, theta plus delta 2, you're removing some amount of delay from this case. Now if this is only for one net, if there had been like 2, 3, 10 or thousands of nets in this particular combinational delay, in this particular combinational logic which is crosstalk affected, you will see 10 into X, or multiples of that particular nets into the X, multiples of that particular net into the X time removal of delay from this particular data arrival time. Basically your data arrival time becomes more and more less than the data required time, and as a result of that you see the slack which goes into the negative direction. It's purely on crosstalk, basically it's purely, the reason is pure crosstalk delta delay over here. So you see the impact of crosstalk delta delay. Even if the circuit is being closed, is been timed at theta plus delta 1, your crosstalk, if this part was not taken care, this part will itself create a data arrival time which goes much below than the data required time, and things don't work as expected. Okay, so it's very important to take care of this kinds of scenario while whenever we start to do the routing, whenever we try to enter the routing phase. It's very important to take care of this scenario much before the routing, so to plan the routing of this particular combinational delay much before we enter the route. There should be some amount of estimation, or there should be some amount of uncertainties that has to be plugged into the combinational delay, and then the routing has to be done in such a manner that this has already been taken care. Or we have to find out, or we need to identify some of this kind of nets. We have to pre-assume some of this kinds of nets which might enter into a congested area on the chip, and try to space it apart. Something we have to do, but this things has to be taken care much ahead we enter the routing. So basically there should be some amount of estimation that has to be done, this is the way we try to avoid the crosstalk delta delay over here. But apart from that, if we see these things at a later stage of the chip release, in that case there are some precautionary steps that we can take to avoid these kinds of crosstalk. So what we'll do is, since I'm already running out of time, in this particular in the next section of the videos we'll look into some of the noise protection techniques. Basically, if we have some if we have some crosstalk delta delay on nets towards the end of the tape out, towards the end of the tape out phase, then there is no way that we can go back and rework the combinational delay. In that case, we have to do some amount of noise protection techniques on the existing circuit itself. So we'll look into a few of the noise protection techniques in the next video. Thank you.